All right, guys, super excited. Today I have Zach Nelson, a repeat offender on the Passion Ferry YouTube channel. And, if you haven't, check out our previous session where Zach and I talked about how he generates a lot of repeat and referral business from his past client center of influence. And it is a great session. They do an amazing job. And today we're going to tackle how to increase your agent referrals. And, I've been, coaching and watching as Zach has been approaching this topic and over the years has really increased the number of agent referrals. So it's time to share exactly what he's doing with all of you so that you can get on the same page and take some ideas and make some money this year. So, if you guys don't know, Zach is in Denver and, he's got the sign back there in his view. So
very strategically placed, I might add.
Yes. And obviously, if you have any agent referrals for Zach in Denver, you'll know where to find him. But let's let him help you guys make some money. Let's get to it. So, Zach, why don't you start with, how you started in this journey of agent referrals and kind of where you started to where you are today, if you can.
All right, Patrick. Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be on a second time here, and I'll take repeat offender. I've been called worse, so it's all good. So, we've been coaching together a long time. I've been coaching with you for just over 10 years now, and the first few years I would go to maybe an event or two a year, and I didn't really take the agent referrals piece all that seriously. I had a handful that would happen every now and then, but I really didn't think that there was. I didn't understand about a plan, that there should be a plan around this. Like any of our lead sources, I just kind of thought, well, I'll just talk to people and I'll go to events and agent referrals will just come to me. But then I also noticed, there are a lot of agents and teams who were highly successful at this and, receiving a lot of inbound agent referrals from other markets. Looked at, what can we do to form a plan around this? And I think, just going into this, like anything, I think people are just naturally pessimistic about something. They want to see a plan that works before implementing it. So, hopefully what we talk about here will help some people.
Yeah, agreed. And for those of you out there, I remember distinctly, just like me, I was negative about this when my great Tom Ferry coach, Eileen Rivera, was pressing me hard on doing this. And then it started working for me. And then I remember pressing Zach on getting on this. And he's like, I don't think this is going to work. No one, right? So anyway, so guys, if you're in that space, you're in the right spot. Let's get to work. So, but Zach, why don't you share a little bit about the results, kind of where you're at year to date, and then maybe what you did last year, just so we can set some context and then let's dive in.
Okay. Yeah. Happy to do that. So in 2022, I had 6 closed agent referrals. And then there's the separate piece, which is outgoing referrals. We've done a lot of connections with people in other markets too. But, we're just looking at inbound 6. I received a total of 11 agent referrals last year. So 6 closed, 11 referrals. Right. This year I have, I've closed year to date 3. I've received 9 agent referrals in the first 4 months. And then I'm also actively working with 4 of those people.
Beautiful. Right. So it's looking like you'll potentially double last year's efforts.
I'd say so.
Yeah. And I think that, since you've been starting this maybe in the last 3 years or so, I don't know exactly. I think it's kind of, it's been this slower growth. So guys, it takes some effort. It takes a little bit of time, but we're all going to be in this business for a while. Let's get on this. So
well, I think the other piece though about that's important is, over the years, and it took me some time and you can attest to this it's about being coachable. And, early on I had a lot of resistance and I know how to do things. And so it was also when I started opening myself up to allowing these ideas to come in and then also for me to implement them with my team. It's been crucial.
100%. So why don't we start with what you do at an event? And I think if it was, I remember correctly, if I can get my head around straight, I remember when I was watching you networking and interacting at an event, really engaging people. And then I was asking you, hey, well, how are you getting agent referrals? And you're like, I'm not. And so I remember us having a distinct coaching conversation where we said, well, what can we do at an event that will cause agent referrals to happen? And so you have been doing a phenomenal job with your networking at events. So I'd love to hear kind of how you approach it. What are some of the things that you do, and kind of what events are on docket, and if there's any things that you're trying to improve on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a couple of things with that. So years ago, it was quantity over quality. And what I mean by that is, when I go to events, I would try to it was almost like speed dating. I would try to get as many business cards as I could and give out as many as I could, because I thought, well, if I just spray and pray that I'd have, I'd get a lot of referrals. And so then I shifted that, in the last few years to just more quality and, fewer people, but better and deeper conversations with people. Mm-hmm. And then as far as the events go, I obviously coaching events, I attend multiple coaching events a year. And then also with Compass, we have an annual event and I attend that. And then other smaller events too, that I try to attend, kind of sprinkle out throughout the year to be able to diversify with who I'm talking to. Mm-hmm. But when I'm at the events, I mean, I am getting their information. But one of the things that I'm doing is that when I'm at the event, after I'm done talking to somebody, I have in my notes app on my phone, I put the name and I put a few, like if I can, 2 or 3 or 4 things that we talked about in our conversation that I know that the next day I probably would forget most of those things. And so I needed to have those in my notes so that I was able to reference those later, and I'll get to that.
Yep.
And you just help me to remember those people better by. So when I would return home, I didn't put all of their information into my CRM, and for anybody, whatever CRM you use. And then I would shoot a general video directed at everybody that I saw and talk about a few key points from the event, takeaways, and then a call to action of connecting with them.
Yeah.
And then in the body of the email, I would include the text. I would include something personal about our interaction so that they could see that I was paying attention, that it wasn't just like a general email that I'm sending out, that it is more personal.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I would set up that call to action of hey, let's connect for a Zoom call. I'm going to learn more about your market, and that's been really huge. I started doing that last year, being really intentional about that, and I've connected with several people in that way to help build those relationships.
Yeah, very good. And so speaking of building and deepening relationships, one of the things that I know has been successful for you was when you and a bunch of great agents formed a mastermind group. And it's been really fun to watch the group evolve over the last couple of years. And I participated with you guys here and there. Yeah. And and now you guys got a very dynamic mastermind. And I think you're probably part of 2, maybe. So why don't you share with them a little bit about how the mastermind group has also improved your agent referrals. So I think this is super important. And so share a little bit about how Mastermind works with this agent referral game as well.
Oh, I mean, I have to say that, being in a mastermind, I didn't realize the value of it when I started in this mastermind, which is about 5 or 6 years ago, or something like that, with the same core group of people, and we've added to it. But early on, I thought, well, this is great. We would be on the calls once a week. Sometimes we were on, sometimes we weren't. We talk about some things. I was like, oh yeah, this is nice to have, just to be able to talk. And over time, as that's evolved, and we've, some members have gone, some more have come in, and we have such a dedicated group of 16 realtors from around the country, each in different markets. And we're very strategic about having somebody different, or nobody in the same market, but that's kind of scattered around the United States. And so with that, we bring on guest speakers to our meetings. We share ideas. We do all sorts of things. And I know everybody knows about what mastermind groups are, but this has been one of the most valuable pieces to my real estate business, and then subsequently agent referrals.
Yep. How do you guys do that with the agent referrals? I think a lot of us have seen, and for those of us that have been around a while back in the Facebook groups, like in the Tom Ferry community, it seemed like there was literally agent referral mafias is kind of the way that I would determine it, right? And it was aggressive because there was so much opportunity in the agent referral game, guys. So there was a lot of money on the line there. So how do you as a mastermind group support each other in this game of increasing agent referrals?
Well, so first of all, with there being so many of us in different markets, we've done, direct referrals for people in each other's markets. I've even helped one of the agents in our mastermind group sell a property here in Denver, one of their properties. And so, but then as far as when you see like the message boards and you see whether it's your company has an internal referral platform, or it's Tom Ferry, one of the Tom Ferry referral groups, whatever it is, when we see that there's a need in whatever city, because we all know where each other is, then we will post in our text thread, hey, there's a referral opportunity. Let's help support, whoever it is in our group. Nice. So, and then as many of us will either call, text, or email that agent and be able to advocate for them. And there's a cool success story that I have for somebody, for an inbound referral for me. There's one of these that came up for me, and it was several people that advocated for me. And it was an agent in Dallas, and somebody in our referral group is also in Dallas as it turns out, in the same office. And she said, well, yeah, let me call her directly. I don't know this agent who's, has a referral, but let me call her. Well, she did advocated for me. That other agent turns out knew and respected her, the one who's in our mastermind group. And that sealed the deal right there. I got the referral as a result. And so we watch out for we look out for each other. And that's been hugely advantageous.
Yeah, I think that's wild. I didn't even realize that. I knew that was happening, but I never really thought about it. Like, this is an important strategy to increase agent referrals, is having this great group of people who know your business, that you've been in relationship for a long period of time, who are all maybe a part of a different company, maybe in a different Facebook group. And wow, I mean, the opportunity set is massive. So guys, one more reason why you all need to form a mastermind group or join one, and then to make it work. right? So a lot of people say, well, the mastermind group, just if it's just, knowledge sharing and stuff like that, they sometimes don't see the financial value. Well, here's the value.
It's massive. I mean, we've helped with everybody in our group. We've helped them get referrals too. I mean, it's not just like once every 3 months we help somebody. And this is ongoing and frequent.
Yeah.
One other thing about the mastermind group is, we have a mix of agents from different companies. We're not all just from Compass. Like it's a mix. And I think that's really important to have that diversity and different viewpoints from different companies.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that was my next point is, because we know that in different community segments inside of the industry, whether or not it's a brand community or whether that's like, like I'm part of the Sierra Interactive community, or, Zach, you might be with Follow Up Bosses community, right? Or a Tom Ferry coaching community. Inside of those different communities, there's all these different opportunities. So, having, so is there any part, we all know that some participation in those communities can make a big difference for your own self. Is there any advice that you have in terms of participation in these kind of communities as a source of agent referrals?
Yeah, so for the first 16 years of my career, I was with a different company. In the last 4, I've been with Compass. In the previous company, I don't know why I didn't really participate in things going on with the company, especially events outside of, Denver. And now I've been much more active that way the last few years of going to events and then also participating in online events. So it's like, where you're on Zoom and people see you, you're visible. They know that you're from Denver. And so I think that's been huge, to be able to gain additional, I don't want to say, I guess it's exposure, but just, building those relationships in other markets.
Yeah. I think honestly, it's very much exposure. Like I know for me, right, like participating in like the Tom Ferry Facebook group and, answering questions and posting comments and asking good questions and engaging always seem to lead to more referrals, right? I know for you within the Compass group, they've got that Compass community, and I know lots of Compass agents that make a lot of money from agent referrals just by participating, right? Going to the events. A lot of people miss that these events are amazing opportunities to, get involved in a mastermind group, to network for agent referrals. It may or may not always be about learning something new, right?
Yeah.
So
sure. I wanted to mention one other thing. It kind of ties in with community, but it also kind of ties in with mastermind group. But when we're making those referral connections, and like, especially if you call this other agent, and you have a good conversation with them, like I've added them now to my referral network. That agent who I'm just trying to connect with somebody in my mastermind group, and I've done that multiple times where I've had a great conversation with them, and then I've added them to our email database and referral networks.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about email follow-up, whether or not it's email follow-up from an event. You've talked a little bit about your bomb. You do a group session, a group message and an individual message. And then, is there anything else that you do via email to support the agent referrals?
Yeah, there is. So I don't know, maybe it was the beginning of last year, end of the year of 2021, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly when, but we started doing monthly emails to the people in our agent database, agent referral database. So we, for those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel, and our team does. It's called Denver Living Homes, and we've been shooting videos for the last 5.5 years. We have a videographer who does our shooting and editing, and so we put out a lot of good content about like top of funnel, top things to do in Denver, top day trips, but then also middle and bottom of funnel, more to the sales cycle. And so we send out in those monthly emails, we'll send out, and oftentimes it's a video, something relevant or something interesting that we'll send so that they'll see our video content. One of the things that we've changed a little bit, and this is kind of getting inspiration from Matt Farnham, shout out to him in Las Vegas.
Yes,
he's amazing. I mean, his client care is exceptional, and also his agent referral and what he contributes back is pretty phenomenal. And so what we've started changing a little bit with our agent emails is with sending an email out that has something like an SOP around client events. We did that a few months ago. We just sent one on an SOP, a standard of practice, for our CMA home anniversary initiative that we do. So we're also trying to contribute and give back to the agents who we know, because it's great to have those connections, but we also, I'm at a point in my career and with our team that we want to be able to give back more. And so this is one way that we're doing it.
Yeah. Great job. And Matt Farnham was a great model of this. And, Zach has done such a great job with his agent referral, with his community referrals. And so that was one of our conversations was, hey, start sharing some of this amazing stuff you guys are doing. And then now, instead of the spammy referral emails I get from all of the agents across the country with just a bunch of hoopla, right? Zach is elevating that where he's impacting them in a positive way, improving their business, which is only amplifying the agent referral game. So on that.
I want to mention one other thing there. We only send out one per month because we know we all get so much email and we're inundated. We don't send out like when we have a new listing, we don't send it out to like everybody, all agents that we know. We want to be high value with what we send out.
Yeah. Yeah. Quality over quantity, guys.
Yeah.
And I think that theme, even at the event, right? Quality over quantity. In the mastermind group, quality over quantity. In the email, same thing. So cool.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to email?
No, this is one other thing I forgot to mention. We have, this is about events. This just triggered it. We had a custom card that was designed. It's circular, and I don't think I have one handy right now. I do. I do. I don't know if people can see it, but it's our team on one side, and on the other side, it says looking for your Denver area real estate connection, and it just talks about that we're trusted partners here in Denver. So we have them specific for the events that we go to, and the fact that it's circular, I get so many comments about this, just the shape of it standing out from others. So that was just kind of another tip of somebody who could do something different.
Yeah, I highly recommend an event card if you're really going to get serious about this. So yeah, and I my one now has like a QR code back to my YouTube channel and stuff like that. So guys, if you're really going to commit, do something that is unique. I don't really care personally too much about some of the trinkets. I get a lot of them. I know a lot of you guys are really passionate about it. But just for me, I'm not like, my love language is not gift giving or receiving. So for a portion of us, it kind of falls short a little bit. I think it's clever and interesting, but let's just make sure we have something that is relatively unique and gets the job done. Zach, what do you do when someone gives you a referral? So if I sent you a referral over to Denver as an agent here in San Diego, what do you guys do in exchange?
Well, being that gift giving and receiving is not your love language, you're going to love this part. So this is.
By the way, no, I love the thing that you actually sent us, right? So that actually is really good. But at an event, I have a culmination of a bunch of things on my my desk in my hotel room, and I might grab one or two things to give to my kids on the way home. So guys, I'm not overly certain that is really the best use of your investment. So go deep, think quality, and let's think quality. So that's just my observation. But after I give you a referral, this is a very important topic.
Yes, agreed. So this is something that we've just recently started shifting a little bit to do a little bit more. In past years, what we would do is this would be we did it for the mastermind, my mastermind group, and also referrals that were sent in that year, whether they closed or not. We send a curated gift box of things, oftentimes things from the Denver area, combination of food and non-food items, and then those would be packaged really nicely and then sent out. And we would do that at the end of the year. However, what we're shifting to now is sending something after, like I have one that just closed a couple of days ago. So we're getting the package prepared. It's going to have a cool Colorado hat in it and a couple of other things for this agent. And we're sending it out after the closing now. And then at the end of the year, we're going to send a smaller kind of just like year-end gift as well. So it's going to be two things that we're sending out in that calendar year, once afterwards to acknowledge, and then a smaller item at the end of the year.
Yeah, very good. And I love, I like that strategy on the gifting. I think that's where the money is well spent. And, in your mastermind, and one of my clients, Haley Overton up in Bend, she does a great job with that, a curated kind of Bend, package, and she kills it as well with agent referrals. So guys, I think that is really spot on. Good. Any, next, in terms of social media, just, how do you leverage social media for the game of agent referrals specifically?
Oh, this is what Tom talks about all the time. And there was something that he had, Instagram reel that he had done recently. And it was like talking about, it's not just the one thing that you do, and you can't just do one thing and expect results. It's like culmination of a lot of different things on social. And so it's interacting with others, especially whether it's real estate, it's other agents, whether it's real estate related or not. But just being in communication and commenting, even just liking, just doing something so that they're seeing that you're visible. And then the same goes for posting some real estate content. I mean, that's, and personal content, because that's, we're not just realtors. That's a part of who we are as people, but we have lives too. And so being able to follow and interact, and then, posting, whether it's stories or especially reels now, that's what we all have to be doing apparently. And I'm embracing that more. So it's all of that activity put together.
Yeah, exactly. And I noticed for me, Zach, was, going and participating in the events and doing a better job there than in the mastermind groups. And then, via email and items of value and all these communities. Then the social media for me was more like people getting to know me. And I know a lot of agents were conflicted. Do you, follow, if you're on Facebook, do you accept friend requests of these agent community, the agent community? And my answer was, as soon as I realized how much money was in agent referrals, my answer was heck yes. So I started accepting a lot of friends that were agents into my Facebook. And I actually really enjoyed that. Right. And I know a lot of people have, but there's conflict there. Same thing with Instagram. Obviously, TikTok and YouTube and so on and so forth. So guys, this is a way for them to start to get to know who you really are. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what really personal branding is. It's like, Zac's a hiker. He's got the 2 great kids. He's got the new dog. Right. Those are the things you'll learn more about Zac through the social channel, which just amplifies and then keeps you top of mind for more agent referrals. Anything else to add to that?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's sometimes, I'll get, like we all do, we get friend requests from agents who we've never met. And for the most part, I will accept those, just because you never know if they might not have a Denver or wherever anybody else is connection. And so I think it's good to be open-minded about receiving that, as long as you're somebody who posts, on social media, and because that could be another way that you could get a connection. I mean, it's obviously more effective when you know them and you talk to them, but you just never know how that might come to you.
Yeah, I agree. My trick with that too, especially with Facebook, was I would just look to see how many, I think it's connections we have. And if we have like over 50 people that we're connected with, generally speaking, I will click to look at their profile.
Yeah.
I'll look a little bit at who they are, what they're all about, what company they're with, how many connections we have. And then if, and I'm like, if it looks good, I'm going to say yes. I think a lot of agents got in trouble with just accepting everyone. And we know that there's some kind of spam stuff going on, and they've created some problems. So guys, just take a little extra step, and then also maybe send a message, right? And then I'm also, I don't know about you, Zac, but I'm also very cognizant of the feeder markets to San Diego, right? Like there's a lot of feeder markets to my market. Denver's been one of the hot markets in the country for lots of people moving to. So guys, it's really, that's an important piece of this puzzle as well. So take a couple extra steps and do your due diligence, and this stuff will pay off in spades. Now, it took 3 years to get to the point where he's probably going to do, I would imagine you're going to end up somewhere in that 10 to 12 closed range in 2023. Probably started at maybe 1 to 2, then it moved to, 6, and here we are at 12. So guys, I also would like for you to share, Zac, a little bit about your, you don't do the high note, but you guys crafted a relocation guide to Denver. Could you share a little bit about kind of some of the digital tools that you've created to increase your conversion rates?
Sure. Yeah, we for our home buyers and home sellers, prior to us meeting, we created it's an email template that has several different resources, and we call it our home buying resources email or home selling resources email. And in there we have a home buyer guide that we created. We have a Denver relocation guide we created. We also have a home buyer questionnaire, which is a Google form, or for the seller, there's a home seller questionnaire that has a lot of different questions to help us better understand and know get to know the buyers or sellers before we meet with them in person, and better understand what their wants and needs and timeline are.
Yeah.
And
so in terms of
hugely.
Yeah, I think, when I saw that, it was brilliant, and I'm very clear, and I'd love your feedback. Has that improved your conversion rate with these agent referrals, helped you compete in this agent referral game?
No question about it, because it's showing them, it's giving them resources and showing them how organized and professional and ahead of the game that we are. I mean, I don't know how many agents, maybe a lot of agents have something like this, but when we've talked to the people that we ended up working with, and they said, especially if they talk to other agents, none of the other agents had anything like what we had.
Yep. Love it.
Just setting us apart.
100%. Find Zac too on social. Zac, where could they find you if they want to maybe jump on your email newsletter? How could they do that? What could these guys do to connect with you?
Sure. Thanks. So my email address is Zac, and that's ZAC @nelsonteam.com. That's the best way to reach me via email. And my Instagram handle is @ZacNelsonHomes. Cool. So those will probably be the 2 easiest ways to find me.
I'll put that down, and everybody should check out Zac's YouTube channel. They do a great job there, and it's starting to really, really kick off, and they're doing some great stuff. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Zac, for your time and attention today. And, we hope that, we get you from, 12 to, let's get you to 36 at some point in the next couple of years. And you guys find Zac, and we'll catch you on the next show. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thanks, Patrick.